The Golden Sayings of Epictetus. 160. Remember that thou art an actor in a play, and of such sort as the author chooses, whether long or short, if it be his good pleasure to assign thee the part of a beggar, a ruler, or a simple citizen, thine it is to play it fitly. For the business is to act the part assigned thee well. To choose it is another's. 161. Keep death and exile daily before thine eyes, with all else that men deem terrible, but more especially death. Then it wilt thou never think a mean thought, nor cover anything beyond measure. 162. As a mark is not set up in order to be missed, so neither is such a thing as natural evil produced in the world. 163. Piety towards the gods. Be sure consists surely in thinking rightly concerning them that they are, and that they govern the universe with goodness and justice, and that thou thyself art appointed to obey them and to submit under all circumstances that arise, acquiescing cheerfully in whatever may happen, sure that is brought to you to pass and accomplished by the most perfect understanding. Thus thou wilt never find fault with the gods, nor charge them with neglecting thee. 164. Lose no time in setting before you a certain stamp of character and behavior to observe both when by yourself and in company with others. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. We shall, however, when occasion demands, enter into discourse sparingly, avoiding such common topics as gladiators, horse races, athletes, and the perpetual talk about food and drink. Above all, avoid speaking of persons, either in a way of praise or blame or comparison. If you can win over the conversation of your company to what it should be by your own, but if you should find yourself cut off without escape among strangers and aliens, be silent. 165. Laughter should not be much, nor frequent, nor unrestrained. 166. Refuse altogether to take an oath if you can, if not as far as may be. 167. Banquets of the unlearned and of them that are without avoid. But if you have occasion to take part in them, let not your attention be relaxed for a moment, lest you slip after all into evil ways. For you may not rest assured that, be a man ever so pure himself, he cannot escape defilement and his associates, if his associates are impure. 168. Take what relates to the body as far as the bare use warrants, as meat, drink, raiment, house, and servants. But all that makes for show and luxury reject. 169. If you are told that such as one speaks ill of you, make no defense against what was said, but answer, he surely knew not my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these only. 170. When you visit any of those in power, bethink yourself that you will not find him in, that you may not be admitted, that the door may be shut in your face, that he may not concern himself about you, if with all this it is your duty to go bear what happens, and never say to yourself, it was not worth the trouble, for that would smack of the foolish and unlearned who suffer outward things to touch them. Uh, 171. In company, avoid frequent and undue talk about your own actions and dangers, however pleasant it may be to you, to enlarge upon the risks you have run. Others may not find such pleasure in listening to your adventures. Avoid provoking laughter also. It is a habit from which one easily slides into the ways of the foolish, and apt to distinguish the respect which your neighbors feel for you. To border on coarse talk is also dangerous. On such occasions, if a convenient opportunity offer, rebuke the speaker, if not, at least by relapsing into silence, coloring, and looking annoyed, show that you are displeased with the subject. 172. When you have decided that a thing ought to be done, and are doing it, never shun being seen doing it, even though the multitude should be likely to judge the matter amiss. For if you are not acting rightly, shun the act itself. If rightly, however, why fear misplaced censure? 173. It stamps a man of mean capacity to spend much time on the things of the body as to be being over bodily exercises, long overeating, long over drink, long over other bodily functions. Rather should these things take the second place, whilst all of your care is directed to the understanding. 174. Everything has two handles, one by which it may be borne, the other by which it may not. If your brothers sin against you, lay not hold it in by the handle of his injustice, for by that it may be borne, but rather by this, that he is your brother, the comrade of your youth, and thus you will lay hold onto it so that it may be borne. 175. Never call yourself a philosopher, nor talk much among the unlearned about principles, but do that which follows from them. That at a banquet do not discuss how people ought to act, but eat as you ought. Remember that Socrates thus entirely avoided ostentation. Men would come to him desiring to be recommended to philosophers, and he would conduct them thither himself. So well did he bear being overlooked. Accordingly, if any talk concerning principles should arise among the unlearned, be you for the most part silent, for you run great risk of spewing up what you would have ill digested. And when a man tells you that you know nothing, and you are not nettled at it, then you may be sure that you have begun the work. Okay, I will stop there at 175. I'll start again on the next reading at 175. Okay, thank you.